What's up, y'all? I'm Rev Mimi, and I am back with a spiritual snack. Over this past week, for some reason, I kept hearing the same two words, unfavorable circumstances. They just kept coming back into my mind. And for a second, I thought it was because of my upcoming move. I was like, well, maybe there's gonna be some bad weather on the day of my move. And it turns out that the Weather Channel does say that there's gonna be some unfavorable weather conditions on that day. But those same two words just kept coming up in my mind. And I started to think through the seasons that we can find ourselves in that are unfavorable, that seem unfavorable to us. And in my devotional over these last couple of weeks, I've been reading about Joseph. I've been reading about his story. It's not even the last couple of weeks, it's been the last couple of days, the way that my devotional is set up. And so the last couple of days, I've been reading about Joseph, his full story, and all of the different situations that he found himself in that were extremely unfavorable. Now, this story takes place over the course of, I think, about 13 chapters. So it starts in chapter 37 and it ends in chapter 50 with one exception. There's one random chapter in there, chapter 38. Okay, this is getting into the weeds. Anyway, listen, it's a big chunk of the book of Genesis that talks about Joseph and his story. And many of you are familiar. Many of you all have seen that movie. I saw that movie when I was younger. Joseph and his coat of many colors. Shout out to DreamWorks, I guess. I don't know. But we are familiar with the story. We're familiar with who Joseph is. But because I was reading his story so intently over these last couple of days, I noticed that he just had a trend of finding himself in these horrible circumstances, these extremely unfavorable conditions. And the thing that I noticed, the thing that stuck out to me the most was the fact that even though Joseph kept finding himself in these horrible situations, these unfavorable conditions, unfavorable circumstances, God was able to use it to his favor. God was able to bless him in the middle of it. And it's hard to think that we can be blessed even in the darkest of seasons. It's hard to think that God can still move and do miracles and lift you up and bring you out of debt, bring you out of depression, bring you out of heartbreak in the middle of your dark seasons. But listen, that is the track record of our God. That is what God does, okay? This is what Joseph experienced firsthand, time and time again. People turned against him. People forgot about him, and God never did. God used even the darkest situations and was able to move. And I know that some of you all are lonely right now. We had our squad party maybe about a week ago, and a lot of you guys said that you were lonely. A lot of you guys said that you missed your friends. A lot of you all said that you are just finding it hard to even get out of bed. And I understand this season has lasted far too long. We've been separated from one another far too long, and it can be very easy to allow yourself to sink and to forget that God can still move. But I wanted to encourage you today. God rather wanted me to encourage you today that even though this is a dark season, a season that should have been over, that you feel, that I feel, that everybody feels should have been over a long time ago, God is still able to move right now. And it's not going to be that God needs to wait for the pandemic to be over to move. It's not going to be that God needs quarantine to end for him to move. God can move right now. God is moving right now. So it doesn't matter how unfavorable the conditions or circumstances are. God will and God can still do miracles and still do wonderful and amazing things. And so it is my hope and my prayer that God might open your eyes so that you can be able to witness what God is doing right now, even in this season. That's all I have for y'all today. Stay popping, y'all, and be blessed.